Teonna.
And I'm Trav.
And this is
I Now Pronounce You, where we reflect on our experiences and give our opinions.
It can be hard to take the time to process it all.
So we're making the time now.
We welcome you to
I Now Pronounce You.
Hey,
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 hey, hey, hey. Project Pat. Hey. All right.
Okay. Lord, why Project Pat?
This Project Pat goes in.
It does. I still remember listening to that song. My brother had a burned CD that somebody gave him. He was like in, I don't know, I think he was in he might have been in high school. And I would play that like over and over again. I thought it was dope back then, but we sing songs sometimes like around the house and the kids pick up on it, but we like edit it.
Sissy was like, Daddy keeps saying cheese like pancake. It was like, Daddy, cheese doesn't go on pancake. I'm like, you don't know about that Project Pat. You know, that 3-6 used to crank back
Or
in the
Ty
day.
when he was like 3 and he'd be like chicky instead of chicken head. Oh Lord, that's hilarious.
It was funny.
Well, how was your week, honey?
It was good, baby. It was a rough week, just getting through a lot of sales and a lot of jargon, whatever. But how was your
head
week?
hurt?
Yeah, it did a little bit. I had that headache above my eyebrow. But how about yourself?
It was okay. The weeks on quarantine are kind of like one big blur.
Yeah, it merges together.
But it was the last week of school.
Yeah.
So today it was my first and my last day at work. It was just like cleaning up and taking everything down and kind of seeing my coworkers and wishing people that are moving on like well and yeah. So it was pretty much that, but it was cool. It actually was nice to get out of the house and like not feel like a person, but I don't know how to really
halfway
describe it.
To have adult conversation after you've been in the house all week talking to kids and talking Disney level type talk, PG rated conversations, and you're able to actually talk about adult stuff, so it's kind of cool.
Talking to you right now is reminding me of that Netflix show Love is Blind.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, I watched it. Well, I watched it, but I pretty much like fast forwarded through a lot of it because I really just liked Cameron and Lauren. I really like them. But I would
Cameron and Lauren. Who are they?
You should have seen them like everywhere. They did a lot of different interviews. They're an interracial couple, and they met on the show Love is Blind. But you get the premise, right? Like there's a wall that divides them. They can't see each other. They just get to know each other through conversation.
Oh, okay.
So we're divided. We're divided by a wall, guys, and so I can't see his facial expressions. He can't see mine. We legit just have to listen to each other's voices.
For quality, it is based solely on quality. Audio quality.
No, but it sounds. I mean, not sounds, but I think it's good for conversation.
Until I build a window, but until then, we are in this situation.
Well, this week, we also, put out a few of our episodes. And the first episode was like a mini episode, State of Emergency. And we tried to like form our thoughts about what was happening with protests in response to George Floyd's death. But his killers have been charged. That was something that was dope. And then Breonna Taylor.
They're reopening the case.
Yes, and the young woman that was shot and killed by police in Louisville. Her law was actually passed today, Breonna Taylor's law. So it bans no-knock warrants in Louisville. So now her mom is trying to get that nationwide.
That should be nationwide. Can you imagine someone just barging into our front door? That's a scary situation, honestly.
It is, and I know people like to ignore and not talk about race, and they roll their eyes and they get tired about the situation. But it's still nice to keep in the forefront knowing that, this exists and that, change needs to happen.
Absolutely, baby.
But today
we're talking about
cheaters and
Oh,
cheating.
you cheating son of a gun.
I now pronounce you a cheater.
Y'all be cheating, bro. Y'all be cheating out here in these streets.
How do you classify cheating? Like, what do you think's cheating?
Ooh, it can go all the way on the extreme portion of
What's the extreme?
The extreme portion of the spectrum is infidelity.
What's infidelity to you?
Infidelity is a sexual act.
Okay.
But then it can go as early as spiritual and mental cheating, which is confiding in someone other than your spouse.
You can't confide in somebody?
When you confide in the opposite sex, especially in our community, it typically leads to something.
What do you mean by our community?
If it's like, for instance, if me and you are getting into it, verbally, and then, I call like a female friend that I haven't talked to in years, but there is some sort of like physical attraction there, but I'm like, oh, I can't do that because I'm married. But like, mentally, I'm like, well, she's kind of dope mentally. And I'm like, yeah, man, my girl been lunching, man.
So if you are confiding in someone about your troubles in your relationship,
facts,
then that can lead to some.
That's typically like the first step in infidelity, is that thought process of like,
so even
this
if you
person
don't
gets me,
even if you don't see them, y'all don't meet up for lunch, y'all are just DMing or texting or calling each other, and you're sharing those type of intimate things.
Facts.
Then that is cheating to you.
Yeah, it is, because the emotional support should typically come from your spouse. So like, if I feel some type of way about my girl, like, me and you should hash it out. Like, let's have a conversation. Even if the conversation doesn't go ultimately well, we talk about it all the time. Like, we don't go to bed mad. We're going to talk it about and be like, look, babe, I don't fully understand your opinion at this moment, but hopefully we can pick up this conversation tomorrow. But I love you and I'm in this thing for the long run.
Well, what you just said kind of triggered something in my mind. I don't think all men think that that's cheating.
Really?
I think a lot of men, and maybe that's where the problem lies, right? And you know what? I can't even say men, because I can probably think of some women that wouldn't think that either. Like, something happens and they just send a text message, to an old friend. He's tripping, right? And then the dude, oh, what he tripping about?
Hey, one thing I know is that if a woman, mostly women aren't cheaters, but what they do know is who got next. So like, if they know that if they know that, like, if cuz ever mess up, they may not particularly think that, but subconsciously they know that, well, this person is a good person, so I may go out to lunch with them and just talk about my problems, and the friend becomes the husband.
I have never thought that.
That's a male
perspective. I know it happens, but I have never thought that. I've had people tell me that. Like, I've had guy friends in the past that are like, you know what I'm saying, they'll wait and they'll pray, and like you'll be thinking, oh, it's been a year, like, nah, this is my friend, and they're like, nah.
So you never heard of friend zone, babe?
Yeah, I know what friend zone is. I've actually had an actual true guy best friend before.
But look, like, friend zone shit usually is like niggas that's waiting and just hoping and praying and wishing that one day you'll realize that the nigga that's in the friend zone is the best person for you. Like, babe, I'm here waiting on you, shorty. I'm looking for you, man. I wanna give you everything spiritually and emotionally and mentally and shit like that. Like, it's not even a physical thing, you know what I mean? Like, physical is usually like the least part of a relationship. Like, the physical part is truly fun and you enjoy it, but it's the least thing. Like, when me and you having conversations, like, I like to be mentally stimulated, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so then what do you think makes, from your opinion, what do you think makes a man cheat from a male's perspective? Men cheat, why? Men
are primal. We're territorial. We're primal. It's usually a physical attraction, and it doesn't mean anything. If it gets to a point where a man is cheating beyond the physical, and it starts to get like spiritual and mental, then you might as well have a second wife, homeboy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it starts to get to a point where, man, she be getting me, she be feeling me, and my girl be tripping all the time. Like, man, this shorty could truly, like, change my life. You know what I'm saying?
And I think women, we do it more for, like, the mental aspects, like having a connection with someone thinking that,
Prove my point.
yeah.
That's why the male friend is dangerous.
Oh, boo, Trav. Just listen. Just listen. So, sometimes in a relationship, as the years, go on, if you are not investing in each other, then, you may feel like, wow, I feel like I have a lot to bring to the table. I feel like I have things that I want to talk about. And, and sometimes people are like, oh, God, I've been with this person for, 2 years. I think I know them to a T, and I know what they bring to the table as far as their opinions on things that are happening in the world, yada, 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 right?
Facts.
So sometimes a fresh face is like, oh, wow, that's dope. Oh, wow.
They don't know the deep and the dark.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
They don't. And I've hypothesized this with someone before, like, when you cheat on someone or when you step outside of your relationship, what makes it so, like, magnetic, or what makes it, like, so great sometimes? And I think it's the fact that it's new.
It's a mental connection.
It's fresh, and you don't have any ties with that person. You're not paying bills with them.
Yep.
You're not raising kids with them.
Yep.
You are not, you know what I'm saying? You're not seeing their mood swings. You're getting, like, the best version of them for an hour or two.
Because that's what they portray.
Yes.
When relationships are new and fresh, you portray the best part of yourself. So that's typically what happens. I mean, when it comes to, if you know,
you know what that makes me think of? I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt
go ahead,
you.
babe.
It makes me think of, like, we had been dating for a year, and pretty much everything was, like, pretty cool. And then one day, I asked you to do something, and you was like, I don't want to do that. I'm like, but you always want to do that. And you were like, I was pretending.
Hey, man, look, that's the real talk. I'm
glad
glad
I
said that.
Why would you pretend? And you were like,
if you're bad,
to get you.
Look, man, if a girl is pretty, you're going to do whatever the hell you got to do to try to, get into that situation permanently.
Yeah.
So, I can't speak for all men, but when I talk about myself personally, it was like you said, you want to show the best part of yourself. Mm-hmm. So you want to show that you're caring. You want to show that, I got your back, what you need. I'm a gentleman. I open doors. I pump your gas for you type thing. You know what I mean?
And guys, you should do things that your girl is interested in as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is another thing, but Trav was young, so he didn't know. But when we were young, like, I don't know, like 19, 20, maybe, yeah, like 20.
Right.
I remember, like, I got into this thing where I went to, like, get up and go, like, jogging and walking in the morning. Like, something just clicked in my head, and Tamara was young, and you were like, you should find some friends to do that with. Like,
which was whack as fuck, because now that I realize that, like, I don't want no jogging ass. Oh, I'm trying to get my 6-pack head ass boy to fucking jog with my thick ass girl. Nah, nigga, because it's always them niggas that be like, yeah, man, I jog too. Your husband doesn't jog.
I'm just saying.
Well, you guys can come jog with us. Well, my husband said he doesn't want to go, and the whole time while you jogging, he watching your ass in slow motion like that Red Man video, like, boom, boom, boom. Come on, man. Don't do that, bro.
So when people cheat or put themselves in a situation, if the other person finds out, do you think it's cool to stay? Because I remember my aunt, right? She used to, like, just give scenarios. So she was married or whatever, and she said if her husband cheated on her and had another child, she wouldn't have been able to, like, forgive him and move forward. But if he cheated, she feels like they could talk it through and kind of move on in the situation. What is your opinion? Like,
Whoa,
if I cheated on you,
whoa.
I'm not going to.
Trust issues. Whoa,
What do you
whoa.
mean trust issues?
Trust issue. I'm not about to rekindle a relationship after there's been infidelity, because that shows me that there's a pattern somewhere, maybe in your childhood or, somewhere previously in life where there's an inadequacy that I clearly couldn't feel the first time. So I'm not about to jump into that the second time. Like, if you can't.
So you have a no cheating rule, point blank, period.
Stamp all the
Do
way.
not pass go. Do not collect $200.
Don't ever fucking cheat on me, because if you do, I will. I'm also an introvert, so I'm 100% completely okay with being by myself. Period.
Me too.
For the rest of my life, and you are too, and that's what makes us such a great combination, because the same. I feel like I feel like the same pet peeves that you have about relationships, I have those same things, and that's why it works so well. But I am a no nonsense, no cheating type of person. A relationship previous to ours, after a breakup or so, infidelity was an issue, and that was
what?
That was a no nonsense thing.
The person cheated on you?
Yes, and you the first thing you do when you're cheated on is you're like, well, damn, dog, like, I was putting it down, I was being a good guy, like, what was it about me? And then you realize that, hold up, homeboy, it ain't about you, bruh. It's about the other person and the inadequacies that they have about themselves.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad that you asked yourself, like, or you had that thought momentarily of, like, what did I do? Because a lot of women feel that way. Like,
facts.
What am I not bad enough? You know what I'm saying? Am I not grinding hard enough? Am I not doing this, that, and the third? And I think that also goes to the stereotype that sometimes is put on Black women when you see someone who's independent, who's making their own money, who's doing everything for themselves.
You independent.
They do that because they also think that should be attractive. That someone is out here doing what they got to do, and sometimes that can get misconstrued. But they often think
independent women are sexy. But the thing about it is that it has nothing to do with your monetary gain. I think the thing about it is that I personally think that relationships are based on loyalty.
Hold on, we need to get back to this cheating situation. So, Trav. So
you're OC.
No, I just have a few basic questions.
All right. Yeah.
So how did you find out?
So I'm PI Trav. Like,
oh, you was a detective.
Yeah, I'm a detective Trav. So, like, I always halfway think that somebody is always up to no good, no matter whatever they do, whatever the fuck they do. And I'm like, why do you have drawers in your purse?
No, Trav.
Like, so
no.
If you told me that, so it was a lesbian interaction. So it was like, if you told me that you were hanging out at your friend's house, but you have a pair of drawers, but your friend is a lesbian, but you're not with that type of situation.
Hold on, well, did she admit to it?
Yeah, because I'm a very, like, pressing.
Yes, you are.
Like, I'll put you in the
especially in your youth.
I will. In my youth, I was like, put you into the interrogation room, and I would tie so many dots together that even if you didn't think you was guilty, you would just admit to the shit anyway. So
okay. So she says this. What did you do after that?
I sat on the step. I didn't cry, but
I'm sorry, baby.
Why you trying to make me sound sus?
Because that makes me feel like you cried. I sat on the step. I didn't cry, or did I?
If you don't know by now, like me, I lived in my grandmother's house when I was younger. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like, we had steps and shit. To the basement,
come on, Trav. That's not imperative. Come
on. So yeah, I sat on the steps and I said, I can't do this. You know what I'm saying? I was like,
and you squashed it from that point on.
Yeah, there was no coming back from it.
Oh.
So I said, I have like trust issues with family members and things like that. So that's a very touchy subject for me. So if I feel like I ride for somebody and they break my trust, then that's hard for me. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like I'm an unattractive person. I feel like that I can find someone else that I can connect with, mentally and spiritually.
Gotcha.
But when you break my trust, I can't trust you anymore. And I apologize that if you think that this is something we can work through, but I don't feel that this is something that we can work through. So I drove them home.
Oh, that was very gentleman-like of you.
I'm a gentleman.
So during that same time period, when I would date, I didn't. So y'all were in like a committed relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have like any committed relationships. It was just people that were just unsure of where they stood, or I just wasn't feeling it and I kind of backed away. But most of the time, it was just people that weren't sure of what they wanted.
You're a hard woman to lock down, and that's why I take pride.
No,
in
I'm
being
not.
Able to lock
I'm like,
down.
this is interesting. I'm ready to progress, and then
I didn't feel like I was too, but I think the both of us we're very hard to lock down. So for us to like lock in, like we're a no nonsense couple. Period.
True.
You know
it really was like I was tired of being in gray areas.
Facts.
And so when the area stayed gray for too long, I was like, all right, this is just going to have to be what it is.
Yeah.
But when I was like a teenager, and you have like little boyfriends and stuff, like those situations, cheating would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And you just...
That don't count.
I know it doesn't, but I'm just trying to think of what I learned from that situation. I think when you're young like that, you're more forgiving and you're just like, oh, okay, well, let's move forward. Or you do have more of those thoughts of, was I, not enough? But when you're that young, it is very primal. It is very, well,
think about the male mind frame, especially if you're an alpha male and you feel like you conduct yourself in an alpha mind frame. You're like, wow, how could you cheat on an alpha? I conduct myself as an alpha male.
And there goes my Jay-Z quote that still blows my mind from Song Cry. And like when you say things like that, a little bit of anger boils inside of me, because your masculinity should not be tied to how many people you can sleep with.
Well, it's not only that. I've never been a person to pride myself on sleeping with people because my mom was,
it shouldn't be. It shouldn't. No.
Should I talk about that?
Lord.
My mama said that if you slept with people over 40, you would get worms. And
but
I realized.
You'll hear in a lot of our conversations, Trav will just bust out what my mama said.
My mama said I ain't got to do that. My mama said head ass boy.
But what I was saying about that Jay-Z quote, because in Song Cry, when he was like, I know the way a nigga was living was whack, but you don't get a nigga back like that. I'm a man with pride. And that part hits my soul each time, because what do you mean you're a man with pride? Like you can do whatever you want to do. You can do whatever you want to do to me, but if I have you looking crazy, then it's a problem.
No, I think it's more so like a regardless type of situation. Like if for instance, like everybody that know us as like a couple in our community, and they know that you cheated, but I took you back, that make me look weak.
But what about all the years that I took you back in this same scenario that we're talking about? What about all the times that person took them back? That just make you look
crazy. That just make you look crazy.
No, it's normalized. And that's what I think, I think often cheating is normalized. It's almost like, well, you can expect that this will happen in our relationship.
We in a new generation where it's like, if a shorty, you know what I'm saying? Well, if a shorty know that your girl on some weak shit, like, I know homeboy be smashing Jones all the time. I'm going to try him. Well, he married. Well, his girl don't mind. So I'm not gonna mind. I think he attractive. That shorty's gonna go smack. So it's the same way with dudes. Like if we know your dude is like
I don't think it always unfolds.
Nigga.
I don't think it always unfolds like that though. I think sometimes when you're married and you step out and you're looking for like understanding, or sometimes you're just looking for sexual things, but it's not always just that.
It all depends. It's all subjective.
People cheat for different reasons. I think that's another thing that people have to realize. Like, people cheat for different reasons. Because
why do you think people cheat?
For some of the reasons I mentioned before. Like, you feel like someone else sees you as, like, you know, when you got that gold star on your paper in elementary school, like when people see you that way, and when they approach you in a different manner that you aren't receiving at home, it could be something that you feel your partner is lacking, or it could be something that you didn't even know you were missing.
Well, that's why real niggas are supposed to be. Well, I can't say real niggas, but that's why good men are supposed to be like, well, you know, I know I'm tired, honey, or I know I'm working on something, but I can't leave space for anyone else to interject in this space.
You said that yesterday.
Yeah, you know, and that was part of my reason, and I always laugh and joke about it, but I take it very seriously.
Yeah, like we were hanging out in the living room, but like you were working on your work laptop, and I was working on some stuff on my computer. So legit, we were in the same room for like 3 or 4 hours, but we were both working on different things, and you really wanted to go to the basement. I could tell you did.
Yeah.
And you were just like, would you like me to hang out? Like, you cool? Like, you good?
Yeah, I'm not about to leave open space for...
And you're like, nah, I'm going to sit in here because I'm not trying to leave no space for you to be entertained.
Hey, bro, I'm not in the business of leaving space open for another dude, period. Like, I'm not... that's big facts. I'm not about to sit and let a guy be like, you know, your homeboy be working so much, but, you know, I got time. I got plenty of time. And we can be friends. Nah, homeboy, I know that game. You're not about to get interjected into my shorty life. Nah.
Do you think you can still love someone even if you cheat on them? Like,
you can love them, yeah. It's always gonna be trust issues, though.
No, I'm saying like, okay, are we still in a loving relationship if you decide to step out?
Some people can do that. Some people can definitely do that. I personally, because I have trust issues in my past. I personally can't.
Trust is a big thing for you. I think you've mentioned it like 10 times.
Trust is a big thing for me. I don't trust a lot of people. There are family members that I don't 100% trust. But I, you know, when you grow up in an environment where you don't feel safe, trust kind of ties somewhere in with safety. So if you feel like you have someone that was like, I don't even have to question their decision-making process. Like, for instance, if I'm on my deathbed or something like that, and I know that I can tell you something and you would follow it through. That's the trust that I feel like a relationship should be built on. You know, I love and trust are two things that are tied together actually for me. If I love you, you know I trust you, because I don't love a lot of people and I don't trust a lot of people. They're the one and the same for me.
I think in my family and just what I've seen in general over the years, whether it was intended for me to think like that, was that cheating is normal, right? So I would listen to my grandmother, I would listen to different family members, and if they had a story about cheating, it was just like, men are dogs, this is what they do, but we're still here. It's like the message that I got is that you're just going to, you deal with it. It's a part of the territory. It's what they do. And if I dare to question that, if I'm like, oh, grandma, I wouldn't do that, or she would tell me stories about other people, you know what I'm saying, in the family or friends that she's had, and I would say, oh, I wouldn't put up with that, or I wouldn't do that, and she just always would tell me like, well, you just make sure you do better, you know, and that kind of stuck with me because, you know, even my dad, like, he would be like, oh, you know, he'd always saying Papa was a Rolling Stone, and he was a Rolling Stone, and it wasn't something that I don't even think he thought twice about, like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like if you have a strong background of like, you know, some of the influences that I had were very disciplinary. You know, a lot of those guys were saying that women are like a gift, you know, so I started to look at women as like a gift to men, because men are supposed to be the protectors. We're supposed to be hardcore. We're supposed to be like, like my kids sleep like babies knowing that my crazy ass is in the house, you know what I mean? So it's one of those things.
Do you also feel like they would look at you differently if they found out that you had did something like that?
Yeah. So it's a respect issue. So it's like, Daddy, like, we're a family. How could you, do that to mommy? And mommy's been crying and.
So do you think it's different if you cheat on your wife versus you cheat on your girlfriend?
Hell yeah.
So do you condone?
Yeah.
So do you condone cheating on your girlfriend?
I don't. But at the same time, if you don't know what's going on, bro, don't even say that's your girl. Be like, yeah, that's a little shorty or that's a little whatever, and make sure that you had that conversation with her and be honest. Because, like, women respect honesty. Be like, look,
Okay.
I don't know where I'm at in my life right now. I'm still kind of wavering through a lot of things. But when you establish that relationship and be like, we in this thing and I really see, potential in a relationship and I want to work on this thing, then that's where we at. But outside of that, don't say that's your girl and that's my girlfriend or that's my shorty and shit like that. Nah, dog. If that's not what it is, then that ain't what it is. Yeah, I talk to shorty. Like that used to be the term. Like, yeah, I talk to her or
See,
I talk
that's
to
that
whatever.
gray area that I kept falling into. It's like you don't commit to somebody. You leave it so open that even if you were seeing somebody else and that person found out about it, then you could be like, well, we weren't locked down. You know what I'm saying? I feel like sometimes men use that as an excuse to be...
It's not an excuse. It's like, you know if you somebody girl or not. Stop playing.
No, you do. But, like, don't have somebody around seemingly confiding in them, kind of, you know what I'm saying, hanging out, building something.
You climbing the corporate ladder. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like how homeboys that's in the friend zone got to put in work.
All right, Trav, what if 6 months go by?
Then I guess you know that it may or may not be promising, but are you willing to take another 6 months to try to figure out if this thing work or not?
That's what I'm saying, that gray area. But I'm saying sometimes I feel like people use that as an excuse.
Don't give me the what are we type of conversation.
Listen.
What are we?
That gets people in trouble. Listen, if you have that gray area open, then if you're coming to me asking me too many questions, then I can use that as a defense. Like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? It's not like we like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I like you. I'm feeling you, but...
Solid guys don't roll like that. Solid guys will make it clear. If you're not afraid of a response, then you're going to make sure that you make that statement like, I told you that, we're friends and we may or may not have an intimate relationship, but I am not in the frame of mind where I'm ready to commit to a relationship. And those are the guys where the women have to make the mistake. See, women get into this mind frame where they feel like, oh, well, I can make him love me more. Or I can convince him to...
Definitely thought like that before.
I can convince him that I'm the only one for him. And they start to put themselves in this mind frame where they like can... get into this whole mode, and then when it doesn't work out for them, oh, he's a fuck boy. Oh, I just knew he wasn't gonna fuck with me. Head ass. Get the fuck out of here, shawty. You knew your homeboy made the direct. I get it, babe, but I get passionate about that because I personally knew.
I don't necessarily like the whole fuck boy movement or whatever. I don't really call it that. I like to look a little bit deeper in that. Because I do feel like there is a reason, but you are saying that should be communicated. And people that call people fuckboys, it's the fact that they're not communicating. They're letting you, you should be looking at all the signs and all of that, but they're letting you believe or leading you to believe that this will be something. They just need some time.
Those are usually young guys. The older guys will let you. No, it's not
just young guys.
Well, guys who are mature will definitely let a woman know that, hey, if you're interested, I am either actively looking for a relationship and I'm trying to build something, or I'm just in a mode where I'm not currently, I don't know where I'm at right now. Mm-hmm. And if this thing goes the right way, then maybe we can establish something, but it's all about conversation. Conversation rule the nation. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So I was looking on Buzzfeed, and they had these 13 questions about cheating that really make you think.
Oh, I'm interested.
So we're gonna do that right now.
Yeah,
okay?
I'm interested. Huh?
All right.
Yeah, I'm interested.
If you thought a partner was cheating on you, would you go through their phone? Yes or no?
No.
I would say no as well. And that goes back to my anything that happens in the dark will come to the light.
Yeah, you can create anything in your brain. So you can go through a phone and be like, oh, he said, do you like Chipotle? And that girl, no, I love Chipotle head ass boy.
Currently, 34% of people say no. All right, so we didn't give a favored answer. All right, next one. Would you dump your partner if you caught them sexting somebody they'd never met? Yes.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You know how big my so and so is? Like
79% of people said that as well. Like, yeah, no.
Yeah, we ain't with that. We not with that.
Especially somebody you don't know and you just sending them I don't get it. But anyway, if your partner cheated on you once and never did it again, would you rather they be honest or never tell you?
Honesty is the key.
So you wouldn't look at them like halfway? So what if I'm like, yeah, Trav, 5 years ago I cheated on you. It didn't mean nothing.
I want to know. Like, you have to give the person a
Trav,
chance.
I think you say you would want to know, but I don't think you really want to know.
What you mean? Like, come on now.
I'm gonna go with the answer too. I would rather you tell me the truth, and 76% of people say that.
You're not giving at this point. You're controlling me. Like, you're not giving me an opportunity to make a conscious decision on whether or not I want to move forward in this relationship. I don't care if you never did that shit again. You lied to me.
Okay.
Like, tell me what's good. Like, and let me make the decision. Like, hey man, like either I'm gonna carry it like she's always been honest.
Even
with
if
me.
it was 5 years ago, relationship is fire now. It's solid. And I'm just gonna be like, tap you on the shoulder. By the way, 5 years ago.
Yep.
This happened.
Tell me.
Okay.
Because either I'm going to say, you know, my wife and I have been through a lot, and she's always been 100% honest with me, even things that she didn't think that I would, you know, agree to, but I respect her and I love her for her honesty. Or you could lie and live a lie. Like, who's going to live a lie, bro? Like, that's not life.
I have told you everything. Some things this has nothing to do with cheating, by the way, but some things I'll tell you, and I do like that you're like not asking me 1,000,001 questions about it. Because
I ain't gonna get that deep, and that's the conversation that's supposed to be had. So like, if you're honest with me, I'm not gonna make you relive something that you regret.
Yeah, because I remember telling my best friend Pierre, I was like, you know, I've told Travis everything except maybe this one thing. And then I was like, you know, but okay, whatever. And then a few weeks went by and I was like, nah, I want to make sure like he knows everything. Like, so I remember mentioning it and you didn't even like ask 1,000,000 questions. You was just like, all right. I wonder, like, do you get it? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's. It
just feels good to know that I don't feel like no one can one up me.
That's what I'm saying. You don't want to, like, 20 years from now and you done had kids and y'all got grandkids and shit and y'all living the life and somebody be like, well, you know, he did this. And be like, what? Like, he never told me that. Like, y'all supposed to be solid. Y'all supposed to be a unit. You're supposed to move together.
All right, next one.
Yep.
If you cheated on your partner but knew it was a mistake, would you tell them straight up or hope they never found out? It's kind of similar to the last one, except for it's happening in real time. Would you tell them straight or hope they never found out?
Yeah, I mean, if you feel like you made a mistake, you should talk about it.
Tell them straight. Because you could, if you learn from it, you know what I'm saying, then you will be able to move on.
You can't have something in your back pocket and live in fear every day. I'm a big fan of not looking over my shoulder. I don't want nobody to come up to me like, man, you know, back in 2005, man, he was OC, bro. He used to hit people upside the head with bottles. Like, nah, like.
So some of these, I already know what you're gonna say.
Okay.
Because they're kind of the same situation in a sense. Would you dump your partner if they had a drunken one-night stand that they swore was a mistake?
People kill me. People kill me with that shit. You mean to tell me that, like, you can't think about your girl while you know, doing a sexual act?
I don't know.
So it's the fact of the matter is that, oh, I was drunk and I didn't know what I was doing. Of course you knew what you were doing.
Yeah, sometimes people use alcohol as an excuse.
That's a lie.
All right, which do you think is worse? Your partner cheating on you with multiple people once or with one person for a long period of time?
They're equal.
So say you mess with 4 people in a year span, or you dated one person, or you messed with one person for a year. They're both equal to you?
Are we talking marriage or relationship? Like,
it just says your partner. So regardless.
I mean, either way, she getting dumped.
I think the one person for a long period of time would make me feel some type of way.
Because that's a relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what the people said. Yep, 75% of people agreed with that one. Which is worse, your partner cheating on you with your best friend or a member of your family? You got to choose one.
My best friend.
I'm going to say...
Because family ain't close-knit sometimes.
I'm going to say a member of my family. Yeah, I'm going to say a member of my family.
I got to go with best friend because if that's like a brother to you...
More people said family member, but yeah, I'm going to go with that. Could you take back a partner that cheated on you once?
No.
Yeah, you kind of said that earlier. I think I would say yes. So we differ on that one. I think I would say yes. I think it would hurt and I would need some time apart, but based on how we reconciled, what the process of that, did we go to counseling? Did we talk and air out everything that would help our communication and our relationship move forward? Because sometimes people just aren't willing to talk about what they need in a relationship. So I feel like if they talk about what they need and that person's like, you know what, I can do that, I can provide that now that I know, instead of just guessing, then I think you can move forward. If your partner cheated on you, but you believe they'd really changed, would you get back with them? Yes.
No.
Yes. Yep, you can stay with that, Trav. If you were on a break in your relationship and your partner slept with someone else, would you count this as cheating?
No.
No.
Nope.
I'm surprised you said
yeah.
no.
If you're on a break, it don't even matter. You ain't even got to tell me about that shit. If we weren't together and we was on a break, shorty, go experience whatever the fuck you need to, and don't tell me about that shit. Because if you tell me about that shit, I'm gonna feel some type of way.
This is your question. Is it better to love someone you can't trust or trust someone you don't love? So love, but no trust, or trust, but no love?
Trust and no love.
I think both. That's a double-edged sword.
It is, but if you had to pick one, I'd take trust over love any day.
84% of people said that. Trust, but no love.
Yeah. If I can't trust you, I don't love you.
I think both of those are some trash.
But yeah, they are.
Do you think you can ever rebuild trust once somebody in a relationship has cheated? Yes. And that goes back to what I was saying before. Like, if we've reconciled and we've put some things into play, we can try it again. What do you say?
No.
Once a cheat, always a cheat. Do you think this is true?
Yes.
I'm going to say no. I think that's what we like to believe as a society.
People grow, yes. But me personally, no.
See, Trav, that girl, she probably learned her lesson, babe.
Yeah, sucks.
And she didn't do it no more.
Sucks for her. She not on 3.5 acres. Kiss my ass. I'm better now.
I hate when you do that.
I'm not trying to be arrogant, and I'm not trying to be a jerk. But at the same time, if two people are building and growing together spiritually, like I'm a Pisces, so I'm a very spiritual guy. I want to build and I want to grow spiritually. I want to.
But that all ties back to trust with you, which then leads you to the cheating situation.
I'm not going to feed you grapes if somebody else was, in your mind, mentally. Like, I'm always going to feel. I guess that may be a slight insecurity.
So what's your takeaway then? Since you're wrapping up your thoughts, what's your takeaway from this episode about cheating?
That if you're dealing with someone who's not necessarily focused on where they want to be in life, then you may need to veer away if you know exactly where you want to be. Because if you want to build something together, relationship-wise, it's not monetary. It's just that I need spiritual food and I need spiritual encouragement to move forward and to build and to grow in life. And I can't trust someone who's wavering back and forth on the fence. I can't do it.
So I think this happens more in more mature relationships. If you're dating in your 30s and 40s, I feel like you kind of know what you want, and you know what you're willing to tolerate, and you're more apt to communicate that with somebody. But when you're younger, you know, in your teens and in your early 20s, and you are, you know, just having fun, you don't really know how to have these conversations. But this is something that you should look at in the beginning of your relationship.
Absolutely.
It should be something that should be a casual conversation when you're talking about what's your stance on cheating, when talking about what do you feel like you need in a relationship, right? Because if you feel like you can't provide your partner with those things, then that is leaving an area open for someone to kind of swoop in. And I don't think it's something that you should be scared about and that you're grilling somebody about, but it should be something that if you have someone that's willing to work with you, you should be looking at how to better your relationship so those things don't happen.
Well, think about marriage support, and think about spiritual encouragement. Think about advancement. You know, it's nothing like feeling like no matter what, I always got this person in my corner. And not only are they always in my corner, they're pretty and they smell nice and they're always talking sweet to me. You know, it's like, wow.
But
that
doesn't happen all the time, Trav. And keep it 100. We're not like that all the time.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't ever feel like if I get mad at you or I'm on some... Man,
your first reaction isn't, let me go ride out and find somebody.
Yeah, man. Like we joke around with it like that, but we never mean that shit. Like, I'm not about to go and pull up in a spot and be like, "Shorty, I need some encouragement." What the fuck, man? Come on, no, bro.
Can you stop cursing?
Sorry, babe. It is explicit. I apologize.
But point blank, be honest, communicate, work through things. If you feel like you want to cheat, maybe have a conversation with your partner. Not, oh, I feel like I'm about to cheat, but just talk about the things that you're lacking. Look within yourself to feel like what's missing, because it may not even be your partner for real. It might be you. Yeah,
if you cheat, you're insecure, bro. Like, or either that or you picked the wrong partner. You know what I'm saying?
And then that should be another conversation. I don't think this is working. And end that relationship so that you can have time to find possibly something else that's more fulfilling to you. All right, well, this has been another episode of I Now Pronounce You. You can find us on Instagram at I Now Pronounce You Pod. And you also can email if you have any questions or topics you want us to talk about at inowpronounceyouPod@gmail.com.
Absolutely.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Stay safe.